time, Nomura was able to wriggle off the hook with 1:30 to go, and now they hold a favored position.
We're not going to have it. They call to each other.
Game here is to get up to full speed. KR makes his move first, and he'll be going faster when the gun goes off.
Go down below the line. 20. 17. 14. 13. 4, 3, 2, 1, gun.
Another clean start and another good job by Dellenbaugh.
Hey, another clean start. Another good job by Dellenbaugh. Well, you know, that was ages ago. Another lifetime. So here I am. I've been trying to just lay low. But, you know, I just can't stand the hurts that are being thrown about. The first hurt that I think is the most important and one that I've been focused on throughout the whole thing is the one that was done to Nancy back in July. I'm confounded by the number of hurts that have been compounded over and over again, depending on somebody's point of view. I can't resolve, and I don't feel I'm in a position to resolve what happened in that stairwell. I don't think anyone is, but I think a lot of people have a lot invested in the narratives that come out of what happened in that stairwell back in July. And, you know, what from my own experience within this community, I think that there's a lot of reasons that people have a lot invested in that. A lot of it comes down to money. A lot of it comes down to alliances. A lot of it comes down to a whole bunch of stuff. But what I cannot stand right now, and I can't abide, is the willingness of altogether too many people to just simply pick a side. When there is a fundamental question of safety, and I've been talking about this from the jump. I really don't like the fact that people are getting called out. I just, you know, I'm with my dear friend Bree. It's like, damn, somebody's got something to answer for. Well, I don't want to be told the narrative that I should take, especially based on things that I didn't see. I mean, I understand that there were people who were there, but they didn't see what happened there. And just like I've got two sides I've got the narrative of one person directly involved, and I do not have the narrative of the other person directly involved, but I do have a number of narratives from a whole bunch of people that weren't directly involved and only observed certain things that happened before and after. I'm not really sure why I should believe, you know, a, a, a phantom narrative, a phantom narrative built on Highbury. I'm here for you. I don't know why I should believe a phantom narrative based on things observed as opposed to another narrative, which I don't entirely believe in whole. But that's not up to me. There's a narrative that has been written out. I'm not gonna say that simply because it was notarized, that only indicates to me that the narrative was written by this person, that this person showed up with his stuff, and a notary said, "Yeah, this person showed up with his stuff." That's okay. I get that stuff. But it's like I've heard from other people who've like thrown some perspective on that particular narrative, but the narrative involved, the most important narrative involved, is the one about the stairwell and the thing that happened. And I haven't yet to hear that thing that happened, as described in the narrative, was not a thing that happened. I have heard lots and lots of narratives about how perhaps from the point of view of the people observing how Nancy and Elliot wound up in the stairwell, but nobody nobody knows what happened there. I've heard, you know, secondhand about the degree of inebriation of both parties. I've heard a good deal of things on, but in essence, what I have seen, what I have seen is people rallying round certain flags. What I have seen is a community tearing itself apart with people who demand allegiance one way or another to one side or another. I've seen people demonized. I've seen people thrown under the bus. And you know what? It ain't the first time I've seen this bullshit go down. Are there things that I despise about the way Jay's handled this stuff? Yes, there are. Tsunami, it's like I enter into I've entered into a couple of streams where people are saying, where I've basically said the thing I'm most concerned about is safety, people's safety. And I've gotten a whole bunch of crap. Well, what about this person? What about that person? Yes, Bree. Bree and I are in the same. I don't have a flag either. I'm not carrying Jay Bundy's water. or to mommy's water. I disagree vehemently with the way a whole bunch of this shit has gone down. You know, I won't be forced into playing games either. I just think it is important for people to reckon with safety. If one narrative is not entirely accurate in excruciating detail, that's fine. But if there's physical evidence of injury, I think that's a primary narrative that has to be dealt with. Even if it's like something happened in that stairwell. Does anybody know what happened there? No, two people do. One person hasn't said boo about it. The other person has said. And yet, what we have is the one person who hasn't said a goddamn thing about it publicly is being defended by so many. Do I need to speculate on the reasons as to why that is? I could, but why should I? It's indicative to me of a community that just simply doesn't care about trying to figure out what the real story is. And I really don't appreciate the people that they just like, if you're not towing this line or that line, you're excommunicated. Well, fine. But that's the way this goddamn community has 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 behaved itself for quite a number of years, at least in my experience, since at least 2018. Yeah. I mean, it's like the way this has turned into a dog and pony show for clout and content is why I've chosen to restructure my network. Yeah, absolutely, Bree. It's like, why shouldn't anybody do that? I think I think it's really difficult to, y- you know, it's difficult to learn about this incident at secondhand and not say, my first reaction was, hey, Elliot's as SR's got some explaining to do. And he's never done any explaining. All we've gotten is a whole bunch of other people doing some explaining. And I do think that, it's like that from the point of view, it's like at great remove, Jay jumped into this thing and uh, in December. I mean, maybe I should have when I first learned about it, maybe I should have said something about it, but what did I know about it? Nothing. Not only did I know nothing, I was already a pariah in this community. So it's like, why would I jump back in to a whole bunch of, to to the whole junior high school bullshit that this fucking community is all about, and has been for quite some time. I mean, most of the people that are rallying around the flag at this point are all like old ACA folk, right? Well, guess what? So is Elliot, and so that's where SR got was chopping his bones up back in the day. But I don't really need to I don't need to rehearse, or maybe I do for somebody. If anybody wants to know about the ACA crap, go ahead, DM me or something. Find me and I'll tell you some stuff. But it's always been like this in this so-called community. And it's always been, it's like Jay, look, I do check in with Jay from time to time, at least checking into the streams. Jay and I haven't had an actual word spoken back and forth for months because I don't like the way this has been handled. And he probably will come at me for doing this stream. It's like I don't like the way this is going. From the jump, my entire thing was, well, okay, this thing should be focused on SR. It hasn't been. It's been on other people. It's been on me, and it's like I open my fucking trap, and it's like, oh well, why should you believe what she has to say? She's goddamn drunk. Like, what the fuck, man? You know, from certain quarters. It's a I don't know what you all expect. And I don't know what you expect from uh, the community. I don't know what you expect from your heroes. I think uh, uh, the most visible people in the atheist on the YouTube online atheist community are really mostly concerned about their position in the visible online atheist community and the do re mi they're going to be able to make from it. Jay mentioned today, it's like quoted me, and I've been saying this since 2018, the eyeballs on screens and assholes on seats. That's what they're mostly concerned with. And they don't care about even their own personalities. That was the whole focus of my blow up with the atheist community of Austin. It's like they were platformed a guy who had fucking doxed and dead named one of their hosts, and they didn't shut the guy off. I got into the same goddamn conversation 3 years later with Skeptic Haven. Doxed. Just like this guy does the call in thing. Hello, this is Otangelo Grasso. It's, and it's like, okay, well, let's platform this guy, even though he's a believer in the Shroud of fucking Turin. But isn't it fun to whip him around? Why? It's fun to whip him around because all you're looking for are the eyeballs on screens and asses in seats, and you don't care about what he's done. And, that's beyond the pale for me. Call me crazy. I'm just an old fucking tranny. I don't think that's cool. And I don't think it's fucking cool to go after my friend Bree because she's agreeing that, hey, something happened. Don't tell me what that's don't tell me what my opinion ought to be. Why are you going after Bree? Why are you going after her? I can understand. It's like, I can understand. I look, Bree, I apologize if you're taking if you take this the wrong way, but I can also understand. It's like when Tsumami goes, what kind of woman are you?" That's not necessarily transphobic. It's like where are you with the girl code? And that's the way I heard it. Now, we've talked about this. I understand. It's like I get it. I get how people can be taken aback, especially people who are really on their transition. It's like I get it. Maybe it's my uh hi hi Rochelle. I maybe it's my wanting to think the best of folk. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I just I wish people would just fucking realize the lengths that people will go to make sure that this space is safe for the potential of this sort of thing happening again blows my mind because it has happened again and again and again. Not necessarily as egregiously as it possibly did last July, but it's happened again and again and again in this space. And it's like, from my point of view, it's why it's not safe. It's why I'm staying away from it. Okay? I just want you to understand. I'm not. uh, I'm not. I've said this before. I'm not altogether on anybody's side because nobody's altogether on mine. I get it. I don't expect people to be on my side. But then again, I don't really expect people to be nasty, right? I think it's incredibly juvenile for people to just basically shut me out. Yeah, yeah, Bree, you're right. But never mind the but. I I have heard that directed at me, and I have learned to dig deeper. What do you mean? Maybe it's age. I don't know. I've heard that directed at natal women as well. like Phyllis Schlafly. It's like, yeah, well, she ain't a woman. She ain't safe to be around. It's like for those of you who don't know who Phyllis Schlafly was, um, she was a campaigner against women's rights. You know, it's odd. I get it, Bree. I understand I understand how you took that. I understand why you took it the way you did, and I also uh, think that was extremely ill posed, and is continuing to be extremely ill posed. Because I think we're at this point we're all talking past each other. I think we are. I think we're talking past each other, and I think that I think everybody's lost the plot. And I think particularly on the side of the folks that are defending these conferences, et cetera, and so forth, and rallying around the family, they're just not taking into consideration the larger issue of, is it really safe? Quite honestly, I don't think it is. Is it going to make a difference that to is it worth it? I think it's worth. Is it worth it to say that this isn't a safe space? Yeah, I think it is. Is it worth to cancel it? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because these spaces are fan spaces. Most of the people that are paying the money to go see these people and blah blah blah. And I've been one of those people on the podium in other space other spaces, never compensated for it, but whatever. A lot of people are compensated for it and compensated handsomely for it. It's kind of the way they make their living. Um, they're not there for that. They're there for fandom. They're there for fandom and for being a part of the thing. And yeah, I've been there, done that. Yeah. Also over it. Because what really matters are the people that are true and honest and there for you when it really matters. I and what's weird is far too many of us, especially trans folk, don't have people here in our real lives, especially trans folk who are just in the midst of transition. A lot of us don't have people here in our real lives who are actually here for us. I lost everything. Everything. 28 years ago. Everything. And I really thought I had lost everything. But I hadn't lost my sister. I hadn't lost some really good friends. I hadn't lost, you know, I hadn't lost people I never would have thought would have been there for me. I hadn't lost those people. I sort of ping-ponged. I was very lucky. I sort of ping-ponged my way around, uh, one might call it negotiating. I ping-ponged my way around and through, and by golly, as it turned out, it was okay. It turned out okay. One of the things I really wanted to do with my channel and with all of my activism, such as it is, if you can call living the life activism, that's what I've been doing, and being public about it. It's like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Telling younger trans people, especially at this point, I mean, I had the benefit of, you know, 28 years ago, people who were maybe 10 years older than me saying, you know what? It's going to be okay. You know what? You could lose everything. Are you aware? It's like, and like my cis girlfriends were all telling me, you know what you're signing up for, don't you? And I sure as fuck didn't. I sure as fuck didn't know entirely what I was signing up for. I found out quite quickly, you know, I wish people would sort of look deeper. Just look deeper. Look at the people, look into the people's hearts. And people could say the same thing about me. It's like, well, maybe you're taking it way too personally to say, to take great offense at somebody telling you you're an old drunk who will die alone. Maybe that, maybe that's true. But I kind of think it's not necessarily not necessarily wrong when the person who said that goes on and makes a point to say, I'll never let you forget what an evil person you are. Okay. You know, when you're involved in a community of people, when you tolerate people, who will do that? Maybe you need to evaluate who your true friends are. When you're in a community that celebrates throwing darts at one another just in order to take them down, right? Whether it's whether it's this side over here chucking darts at their perceived enemies, this side over here chucking darts at their perceived enemies. Maybe you ought to just wonder what the fuck's going on here. Maybe you ought to focus on what the fucking issue is. My point of view, the fucking issue is there's an alleged assault. Don't matter to me what was going on in the bar before or what's going on in the bar afterwards. My issue is there's an alleged assault. One person got chucked down, and one person has physical injuries. Another person, maybe not so much. I don't know. And then in the collateral damage, we've got Bree sitting here. It's like, hey, this thing happened. It's like, and provides a little bit of background, which is counter to the victim's story as to it's like it's like maybe Nancy's not exactly princess charming. It's okay, but I don't care about that. I care about something that happened that was really fucking bad. And I haven't heard I haven't heard a goddamn word from the only other person that was there, aside from believe her. And I do, about what happened there. I also believe Bree. I can do more than one thing at a time, believe it or not. And I don't have to sit around and demonize every fucking person that has a different fucking point of view. And I also can have a fucking position that says, you know what? In that circumstance, pardon me, somebody could have behaved better. You know, It's like this, it was handled perfectly. Okay. It was a perfect phone call, right? The thing the thing of it is at this point with regard to Nanocon and everything else, all these fucking things. It's like In my humble opinion, yeah, I agree. They're mostly all about fandom, and they're mostly all about the the Benjamins, and they're mostly all about they're less about community and more about from the point of view of the attendees, a validation, and from the point of view of the presenters, profit. Um, which is why so it's like, fuck that noise. Been there, done that. Not interested in doing it anymore because you know what? I've got a life. I get to go run sailboat races tomorrow night and race the next night. I've got a life. I've got a job. Um, when I didn't have a job or was at least struggling in trying to make a living, it was kind of a different story. So if I was trying to actually, saying, well, maybe this YouTube thing could pan out. It's like, yeah, but no, why should I expect that to be the case? You know, trying to trying to talk through the whole issue of trans athletics when being a trans athlete and nobody even gives a fuck about being an actual trans athlete when the subject comes up because well, I don't really care about sports. Like, what the fuck? I might as well be talking to the goddamn wall. I should have gotten the clue right then. It's like, well, I don't really care about I don't really care about sports. It's like, well, I don't really care about you. So, okay, all right, cool. I care about sports tremendously because I make my living at sports. You know, and this community is just all kinds of screwed up. I don't know. I've been on for a very long time. 42 minutes, 57 seconds. Yeah, it's probably enough. I don't know if I don't know if anybody wants to Bree, are you still here? If Bree's still here, just let me know. If you want to come on and chat, but please don't feel you need to, because I really honestly don't think you should. I'm just exposing myself and out here so that everybody can take pot shots at me. But I'm sick to death of the whole goddamn thing, and it's like, I will, I'm not gonna go after the usual suspects, even though they will go after me and have done. It's really interesting. It's like I don't think Kip Davis knows me from the fucking hole in the ground, but you know what? He figured he'd go after me. It's like, what the fuck, man? You know? I go onto Oz's stream, and it's like, I know Oz, and it's like basically go, I'm done with this bullshit, and he says, "You're done," and then basically kicks me. It's like, what the fuck? It's like The thing that gets everybody's fucking attention, the thing that gets everybody's fucking attention is outrage. I could be outraged. In fact, I am a little bit. I'm outraged at what happened in the stairwell. That's what I'm outraged about. I'm not and I'm also I'm outraged about the rallying round the flag, constructing a legend on behalf of the other party. When the only the other direct party, when when the direct party presents their narrative of what happened in the stairwell. Was their narrative 100% accurate as to what happened before the stairwell? After the stairwell? Obviously, there are conflicting testimonies there. In the stairwell, on the other hand, I don't understand. I don't understand why any woman would have any fucking reason to concoct the um, specifics of what was detailed. RBT MDL, you may not be privy to the drama, but it's not drama. It's actually sexual assault. And the fact that so many people are trying to reduce it to drama is also a thing that is really grim. It's meant to be drama, but it's not. It's drama on the part of people who paint themselves as dramatis personae. It's not actual drama on the part of the woman who is chucked down the stairs and assaulted and strangled. That's not drama. That's assault. The drama has been the way it's been handled. And, my own focus has been on that act, the testimony about what happened in the stairwell, not in the bar, not in the hotel, not anywhere else, in the stairwell. And I don't know what happened there. Nobody else does, except for two people. And we've heard from one, exactly one. All I'm saying. So anyway, um, leave my friend Bree alone, please. Don't show her. I know I called out Jay on rebroadcasting her plea to let her tell her story. Kind of wish she'd left it out for on her own sake, but it's like people are pressuring people to toe the line one way or another. It's like, you know, stop it. Just quit it. I can't shut down NanoCon. I can't shut down the rocket, whatever the fuck it is, or any of these other things because they're not going to get shut down. It's like, I'm sorry, Jay, but it's not going to happen. You know, people are going to be paying the money. They're going to be doing the thing, and they're going to be going to the thing. Of course, you're not. Of course, you're not, Bree. And which is why I say I believe you. You know. And that's what I think people ought to, it's like, hey, you're not gonna there's no reason to take Nancy's testimony, the 10 pages, at face value. But yet that's got nothing to do with what happened in the stairwell, right? It's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with like it's outside of the matter at hand. And the matter at hand is allegations of assault. I don't take I don't take anybody's testimony at face value. But there's no it's difficult to say in a case of SA um, that it's a mitigating circumstance that this person or that person was into this or that thing. When the SA is all about the SA and the consent is all about the consent. And and the fact that uh, one or both parties were horribly intoxicated. Yeah, I know, Bree. I know. When you say they, you're talking about um, You're talking about Jay and Chumami and the crowd. And yeah, and that's what they need to get over that too. It's like, listen, there's all sorts of perspectives here. You know, why are you being? Are you going to be a Calvinist about this? It's like you're either one of the saved or the damned. I mean, this is the problem with the fucking atheist community. Jay's talked about this, and he's almost there, almost there. It's like it, all of many people. I've had this discussion with other folks in the atheist community. It's like most of the people involved in this thing are either out of uh, are mostly out of some form of fundamentalist Christianity, where nuance is not a thing. You're either saved or damned, you know? And and it's been it's been seriously frustrating for a person of my sort who was, daughter, granddaughter, niece, etc., and so forth, of a whole bunch of Methodist ministers who basically came out of the social gospel movement of the late 19th, early 20th century. Is like, well, I don't understand. I don't. That's not the Christianity I grew up with. The Christianity I grew up with was one about one of one of one of trying to understand, one of compassion, one of trying to literally do the thing, feed the hungry, visit people in prison. I mean, I literally did go with my dad to the Concord, the state prison in Concord, Massachusetts, to visit people in prison. You know, it's like, but those guys, they don't do that. They never did that. They never bothered. What the fuck? The social gospel, all that shit. It's like do the Beatitudes stuff. And most of these people are coming out of a retributive, you know, retributive form of Christian belief. And it's a shitty fucking form of belief, it's like, what the fuck, man? And yeah, and they'll rail against it. They rail against it on the line. They railed against it on the ACA. They rail against all this stuff. But that's where they came from. All those guys. And it's like you think of most of the uh, all stars of the atheist community. How many of them came from the something other than a fundamentalist, high control version of Christianity? How many? Pick one. Huh? Can you name one? I mean, that there's for Selkai, it was uh, never had a Christian belief, right? But most of the other ones certainly did. I was an evangelist preacher, or I wanted to be an evangelist preacher, or I or I spoke on Christian radio and did all that stuff. That's where most of these people come from. They really have an authoritarian bent. They aren't acclimated to the notion of trying to understand. Or trying, that they're not acclimated to they had to learn empathy, and they haven't learned it very, very fucking well, to be honest. They haven't. So, it's what they're good at is talking a good game, about how stupid, um, blind belief is. But yet, they really insist on blind belief when it comes to their bona fides, you know, or their cleverness or whatever. I mean, even the scholars, even the scholars, it's like, well, I went to seminary. I went to seminary. It's like, you know, Bart Ehrman's backstory is all about, I was a Bible believing, and I went to the most fundamentalist seminary. It's like, and Kip Davis is the same fucking story, and so is you know there's so many of them, and it's like, well, okay, fine, and how many of them are basically insisting that we all reject the testimony of a woman who was assaulted last July. It's not good. It's not good. So I don't know. I want you all to be supportive of my friend Bree. That'd be good. Um, um, I want you all to be wary of the demands. If you want to go to NanoCon, you want to go to any of these conventions, fine. I would advise you to investigate their dedication to real safety. And real safety is not. You okay with this? Okay, well, that's fine. We won't call the cops. We won't call the medics. We won't do this. We won't do that. It's like, you okay with this? It's like it- that's not real safety. I mean, it's like, no. Um, if any of y'all want to know what real safety is, you know, uh, go look into safe sport. Okay, go look into real uh real um training. I was required to do it because I'm a US sailing official. I know what real training is. Shit's pernicious. Shit's pernicious. And it's not cool. And everything I've seen from the blather is not for real in terms of true safety. But who the fuck am I, right? It's like, I'm no sort of professional, except that I actually had to take the fucking training. I'm not safe at all, except that I'm actually a professional. Yeah, right? Uh, no. It is annoying when well compensated amateurs have more to say than people who are actually doing the shit. And in that sense, I certainly understand Dr. Bundy's frustration because, God damn it, being a real academic, like actually employed on a tenure track, hey, a little different than sitting in Calgary somewhere offering online courses for rubes interested in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah, aka fuck you, Kip. You can go after me and you don't even know who the fuck I am, you dickhead. Yeah. Yeah. And people got a whole ton of assumptions. Whole fucking ton of assumptions about who people are. Maybe they should take the time. Yeah, okay. An hour and 9 minutes and 34 seconds is way more than enough for me. I appreciate you all being here. I hate even fucking talking about this. I promise I won't I will stick to sailing from here on out. You may hear from me tomorrow because I'm running a sailboat race, and it may be not so much of a sailboat race because there won't be any wind, and you can't have a sailboat race without wind. But anyway, please don't subscribe to my channel. Please don't like my videos. Please give me as much hate as you possibly can. Um, uh, please just ignore me because I'm just an old tranny and I got nothing to contribute to the discourse. Good night, you all. Oh, wait. How do I do this?